Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy DLloyd. So tonight is Game 7 between the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Clippers. But you have to really ask yourself the question, right? What happens if the Clippers lose tonight? That is my question to you guys. I'm going to let you guys know what I believe, but you guys also let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Now, Game 7, I am torn, right, in terms of what I think is going to happen. The logical part of my brain believes the Clippers are still the better team and the Clippers will prevail in the Game 7. That's exactly why Kawhi Leonard and Paul George is there. Two guys that are supposed to be able to step up in a big-time situation like they have tonight, right? Kawhi Leonard supposed to be, the best player in the NBA, if not one of the best players in the NBA. This is the moment that you're going to have to step up, because if the shoe's on the other foot and it was a LeBron James, right, or it was a Steph Curry or just really any other superstar, they're going to have to come up big in tonight's game. If Kawhi Leonard does not do that, that's going to be a severe disappointment for the Clippers. Now, the emotional part of my brain suggests that the Denver Nuggets, they may be in a situation where they can actually win this game. Granted, the Clippers, I still strongly believe are the better team across the board. They haven't been playing like it consistently, right? Denver is coming off of not one, but two emotional wins, right? Two games where they had to come back from double-digit deficits to come back to force the Game 7. And on top of that, they just did a Game 7 against the Utah Jazz where they came back from the same 3-1 series deficit. They were down 3-1 to the Clippers. They were able to come back, force a Game 7. So emotionally for them, they're riding high, right? Because now they know they can win a Game 7. Now, even if they go down early, they know they can come back. They know they are not going to give up. And if you're the Clippers and you go up early, it's going to be in the back of your mind, right? Even if you don't want to admit it, you're going to always know, hey, we have to bury this team. Because if we don't, they could come back at any moment. So that's why I'm definitely torn. Now, to the main question of this video. What happens if the Clippers lose? If the Clippers go down in the second round, that is going to be a huge disappointment. Remember, the Clippers, they were a team that got to the second round anyway, right? You add a Kawhi Leonard, right? A guy who was just NBA Finals MVP. You trade 6 draft picks to get Paul George, which essentially was 6 draft picks to get Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, because Kawhi Leonard wanted Paul George if he was going to come to the Clippers. So you gave up 6 draft picks. You basically mortgage your future. You have the roster, you have to do something, and you have to do something relatively quickly, right? Within the next 2 to 3 seasons, or else this is going to be a massive failure. The Clippers, the expectation was Western Conference Finals. A lot of people thought NBA Finals, right? If you don't make it to the Western Conference Finals, I think it's different if they go play against the Lakers and they lose in 6 or they lose in 7 against the Lakers. I think that is completely different than if they lose to the Denver Nuggets, because the Nuggets were not a team that was supposed to beat the Clippers, right? The Clippers were supposed to be head and shoulders better than Denver. So this is not that same situation. This is a huge disappointment if you go out in round 2. You start looking at Doc Rivers, right? Does he come back? Is he the head coach if you go down in round 2 tonight? I'm not sure if he comes back. You might start looking at a Ty Lue, on your bench. You might start looking elsewhere to bring in a new voice, because we've seen the Clippers lose after going up 3-1 already. So that's not a good sign if you're Doc Rivers. I think this is a must-win game for his job moving forward. Now, the rest of the roster. This roster was really built, to be a scrappy team, right? They're supposed to have a ton of depth. I think they have probably the best bench, right? At least on paper, at least what we've seen during the regular season, out of any team in the NBA. The bench hasn't stepped up. Lou Will hasn't looked the same since the bubble started, right? You look at Trez, he cannot guard Jokic at all, man. It has been difficult. You can't really blame him because he's already undersized. But, man, he looks like a liability at times on the court. Kawhi Leonard, he's that quiet guy, right? So is he going to galvanize everybody to step their game up? And on top of that, Kawhi Leonard also hasn't been looking like the best player on the court every single game. And that is something that cannot happen. He needs to be the best player on the court tonight if they're going to win. Paul George, very up and down. Very, very up and down this year. And when you look at Paul George, even in Game 6, right, he had, 31 points? But his plus minus was terrible. So this is something where I do expect, if the Clippers lose this game, I do expect Doc could be gone. And on top of that, I do expect a roster turnover. Now, are they going to give up on Paul George and Kawhi Leonard? No, I think maybe they keep those two at least one more year. But they do turn something over, right? They're going to flip some guys to try to get other pieces, some new pieces, maybe somebody that the new coaching staff or whatever feels that it can maybe work better, right? Remember, after this year, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard have 1 year left on their deals. What happens with that? Like I said, I think they keep them at least one more season. But this is a big game for the Clippers organization. Remember, if they win tonight, I think everybody forgets about this conversation. I think everything is fine and they're going to keep moving, unless they get just dismantled in the Western Conference Finals. I think even if they get dismantled in the finals, I think they'll be okay. I think losing in round 2 is the issue. And if they go down, I expect a lot of changes in LA for the Clippers. But you guys let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. Do you think we'll see massive turnover, right? Do you think Doc Rivers is back? Do you think the roster is going to change if they lose tonight? Or do you think maybe they'll come back and give it another run? Because remember, it's also been a very unusual year. This has not been a normal season. So they always have that to kind of, say as to why they're going to run it back, man. But you guys let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. It's your boy DLloyd. I'm going to see y'all next time. Peace.